What if I told you that some of the most common foods in your kitchen could be silently increasing your risk of cancer? Every bite we take is either fighting disease or feeding it. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death worldwide, but here's the shocking truth. Many cases could have been prevented. While genetics play a role, research shows that nearly 30 to 50% of cancers are directly linked to lifestyle factors, including diet. In the United States alone, nearly 1.9 million new cancer cases were diagnosed last year. Tragically, over 600,000 people lost their lives to the disease. The most common types, colorectal, breast, lung, and prostate cancer, affect millions, and their prevalence continues to rise. Even more concerning, obesity-related cancers now account for nearly 40% of all cancer cases, highlighting the powerful role that diet and lifestyle play in our health. With numbers like these, it's clear that cancer isn't just a random occurrence. It's something we have more control over than we think. Today we're breaking down the most dangerous foods that have been scientifically linked to cancer growth, and most importantly, how to replace them with healthier alternatives. Stick with me until the end, because these simple food swaps might just save your life. Every meal we eat is a choice that can either fuel our body with the nutrients it needs or increase our risk of chronic diseases like cancer. While some foods provide essential antioxidants that fight inflammation and repair DNA, others create the perfect environment for cancer cells to thrive. So, what are the worst offenders? Let's break down the most dangerous foods that have been linked to cancer and the science behind why they should be avoided. Let's talk about sugar. It's hidden in nearly everything, from your morning coffee creamer to so-called healthy fruit juices. But did you know that high sugar intake has been linked to an increased risk of cancer? When we consume too much sugar, it leads to insulin resistance, a condition where our cells stop responding to insulin properly. This not only contributes to obesity and diabetes, but also creates an inflammatory environment that cancer cells love. Research shows that cancer cells consume glucose at a much higher rate than normal cells, a phenomenon known as the Warburg effect. In simple terms, sugar fuels cancer growth. A 2023 study published in the British Medical Journal analyzed data from over 100,000 people and found that those who consumed high amounts of sugar, especially from sweetened beverages, had a significantly higher risk of developing liver, breast, and colorectal cancers. Researchers concluded that excessive sugar intake not only contributes to metabolic dysfunction, but also increases oxidative stress and inflammation, two key drivers of cancer formation. And it's not just sodas. Many healthy fruit juices, energy drinks, and flavored coffee beverages contain as much sugar as a can of soda. The best approach? Reduce or eliminate sugar-sweetened drinks altogether. Instead, opt for water, herbal teas, or naturally flavored drinks with no added sugar. If you crave something sweet, choose whole fruits over fruit juices to get the fiber and nutrients without the blood sugar spike. If you need an energy boost, try snacking on protein-rich nuts, antioxidant-packed berries, or a square of dark chocolate. These options satisfy cravings without the hidden dangers of added sugar. But sugar isn't the only problem. Many of the foods we eat daily contain harmful chemicals and artificial additives that can promote cancer growth. One of the biggest culprits? Ultra-processed foods. Convenience foods are everywhere. Quick, cheap, and easy. But have you ever wondered what's really inside these ultra-processed products? Behind the flashy packaging and bold claims, these foods contain a dangerous mix of artificial additives, preservatives, and unhealthy fats that may be silently increasing your cancer risk. A major study published in The Lancet in 2023 followed over 200,000 individuals and found that those who consumed the highest amounts of ultra-processed foods had a 30% higher risk of developing cancer, particularly breast and colorectal cancers. These foods not only lack essential nutrients, but also introduce harmful substances into our bodies. Many ultra-processed foods contain artificial additives like sodium nitrites, BHA, and BHT, preservatives that have been classified as potential carcinogens. These chemicals help extend shelf life, but inside the body, they can lead to oxidative stress and disrupt normal cellular function. Emulsifiers, commonly found in processed dressings, sauces, and ice creams, have been shown to alter gut bacteria. A 2022 study in Nature Communications found that certain emulsifiers increase inflammation and may promote the development of colon cancer by disturbing the gut microbiome. Ultra-processed foods are often high in trans fats, which are industrially created fats used to enhance texture and shelf life. However, these fats promote chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are key drivers of cancer. The World Health Organization has called for a global ban on trans fats due to their serious health risks. It's not just what's inside these foods, it's also the packaging. Many ultra-processed foods come in plastic containers lined with BPA and phthalates, chemicals that interfere with hormone regulation. Studies have linked exposure to these endocrine disruptors with an increased risk of breast and prostate cancers. Avoiding ultra-processed foods doesn't mean giving up convenience, it means making smarter choices. Try to stick to whole, minimally processed foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. By cutting back on ultra-processed foods and choosing natural, whole ingredients, you're not just improving your diet, you're reducing inflammation, supporting gut health, and significantly lowering your risk of cancer. But processed foods aren't the only dietary factor linked to cancer. One common drink that many people enjoy regularly has also been classified as a carcinogen. Let's talk about alcohol. A glass of wine with dinner or a beer at a party might seem harmless, but alcohol is one of the few substances we voluntarily consume that has been directly linked to cancer. And unlike some risks, there is no safe amount. Even moderate drinking increases the likelihood of developing certain cancers. When you drink alcohol, your body breaks it down into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that damages DNA and prevents cells from repairing themselves. This process significantly increases the risk of developing cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, colon, and breast. For women, alcohol raises estrogen levels, which can fuel the growth of hormone-sensitive cancers like breast cancer. Research shows that women who consume just 3 alcoholic drinks per week have a 15% higher risk of breast cancer, and the risk increases with each additional drink. Long-term alcohol consumption also leads to chronic inflammation, particularly in the liver, which can eventually cause cirrhosis and liver cancer. The more alcohol consumed over time, the higher the risk. The good news? You don't have to give up socializing. Just swap out alcohol for healthier alternatives. Try sparkling water with lemon, herbal teas, or non-alcoholic mocktails that give you the experience without the risk. Even small reductions in alcohol consumption can make a big impact on your health, improving sleep, reducing inflammation, and most importantly, lowering your cancer risk. But alcohol isn't the only thing we need to be mindful of. The way we cook our food, especially frying and grilling at high temperatures, can produce harmful carcinogens that increase cancer risk. Let's take a closer look at fried and overcooked foods. Crispy, charred, and golden brown, fried and grilled foods are undeniably delicious. But did you know that the way we cook our food can produce harmful chemicals linked to cancer? The high temperatures used in frying, grilling, and roasting can create compounds that damage our DNA and increase cancer risk. When starchy foods like potatoes and bread are fried, baked, or roasted at high temperatures, they form acrylamide, a chemical classified as a probable human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Animal studies have linked acrylamide to an increased risk of multiple cancers, including kidney and ovarian cancer. When meats like beef, pork, and poultry are cooked at high temperatures, especially grilled or pan-fried, heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are formed. These compounds have been shown to cause DNA mutations that may lead to cancer, particularly in the colon, pancreas, and prostate. Reused frying oils, commonly used in fast food and fried snacks, produce oxidized lipids, damaging compounds that trigger chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, key drivers of cancer. Regular consumption of deep-fried foods has been linked to a higher risk of lung and esophageal cancers. The way we cook our food matters. Instead of deep frying or grilling at extremely high temperatures, try healthier cooking methods that preserve nutrients without producing harmful carcinogens. Instead of deep frying, try air frying or baking at lower temperatures. Instead of grilling meat over an open flame, you can opt for slow roasting or steaming. By making small changes to how we prepare our food, we can still enjoy flavorful meals while minimizing our risk of cancer. It's not about eliminating your favorite dishes, it's about cooking smarter. But cooking methods aren't the only concern. Some foods, especially those that are highly salted or pickled, have been linked to stomach and digestive cancers. Let's explore why these preserved foods might not be as harmless as they seem. Salt is a staple in every kitchen, but consuming too much of it, especially from highly salted or pickled foods, can have serious consequences for your health. While salt itself isn't inherently dangerous, excessive intake has been linked to an increased risk of stomach and digestive cancers. When we consume high amounts of salt, it damages the protective mucus lining of the stomach, making it more vulnerable to harmful bacteria and carcinogens. Over time, this irritation can lead to chronic inflammation, ulcers, and an increased risk of stomach cancer. Studies show that diets high in salty foods can promote the growth of Helicobacter pylori, a bacteria linked to stomach cancer. This infection thrives in an inflamed environment, and when combined with high salt intake, the risk of gastric cancer increases significantly. Pickled foods often contain nitrates and nitrites, preservatives that can form N-nitroso compounds, NOCs, chemicals known to be carcinogenic. Regular consumption of pickled and fermented foods, particularly those prepared in less controlled environments, has been associated with a higher risk of stomach and esophageal cancers. The good news? You don't have to sacrifice flavor to cut back on salt. There are plenty of ways to season food without increasing your cancer risk. Instead of processed meats, try fresh, lean proteins like chicken or fish. Instead of salty seasonings, use herbs, garlic, lemon, or vinegar for natural flavor. Instead of pickled vegetables, opt for fresh or lightly fermented versions with minimal preservatives. Small changes in your diet, like reducing salt and avoiding heavily processed pickled foods, can go a long way in protecting your digestive health and reducing cancer risk. The key is moderation and choosing natural, whole foods whenever possible. Cancer prevention isn't about perfection. It's about making small, sustainable choices that add up over time. By cutting back on processed and high-risk foods and replacing them with whole, nourishing alternatives, you're taking powerful steps toward better health. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on longevity and well-being. Together, let's take charge of our health, one meal at a time.